Assalamu alaikum students. So today this is our biology class. In this class we will discuss about living organisms. First we will define biology because this is our first class. In this class we'll define biology. What is biology? Then we'll discuss about in detail. So biology is the branch of science just like chemistry and physics. This is also branch of science. In this we'll discuss about living organisms. What is the meaning of bio? Here, the meaning of bio is life, and the meaning of logos mean thought or reasoning. So it's mean, in short, we will discuss here about the living organisms, about life. So biology is the study of life and living organisms. For example, human. Human is a living organism. Other than this, we can say that cat, or we can say that some aquatic life, fish, are also living, plants, and they are different from living or non-living things just like stone, or we can say that table. So these are non-living things, so don't be confused with non-living things. So we'll discuss here about living things. So all living things, human, cat, fish, plants, these are all living things, and these all living things are made up of cell. So next we have to explain about cells. So what is cell? This is our main topic of today. So today we'll discuss about cells. Cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life. So what is cell? A cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life. It means that different cells combine to make life. A cell itself is a living. A cell is living, and like different cells combine together and they work. Different cells combine, they make tissues and then organs and organ systems, and they make individual organism, and they like they reproduce, they grow. Like when cell combines, an individual that is formed can grow, can reproduce. In this way we can say that these living organisms are different from non-living things, because non-living things cannot reproduce, non-living things cannot grow. That's why living things are different from non-living things. So here we'll discuss about cells. So cells is the structure and function of life, and we can say that a cell is the building block of life. Building block of life. So in this way, like how we'll define cell is a building block of life, how we will explain this. For example, a lot of blocks of bricks are required to make an house. So in the same way, a lot of cells are required to make a living organism. For an organism, millions of cells are required. We will learn that there are different type of organisms. Some of the organisms are unicellular, some of the organisms are multicellular. A unicellular organism made up of only one cell, but there are a lot of organisms that are multicellular. So generally we can say that millions of cells combine together and they make organism. So next we'll discuss about types of cells. There are how many types of cells? So you can see here there are two main type of cells, prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So prokaryotic cell is different from eukaryotic cell, and in eukaryotic cell there are two main types in eukaryotic cell, plant cell and animal cell. So now we'll discuss how prokaryotic cells are different from eukaryotic cell. Here you can see in the picture, this is prokaryotic cell, and in this cell you can see this is DNA, nucleide. So this DNA is without nucleus, there is no nucleus or nuclear envelope here. As compared to eukaryotic cell, you can see here this is nucleus, and this is nucleus in plant cell and in animal cell. So in plant and in animal cell there is a prominent nucleus, there is a true nucleus, there is a, we can say that there is a nucleus surrounded by nuclear envelope, and the DNA and RNA is present inside the nucleus. You can see here DNA is present inside the nucleus. But in case of prokaryotes, there is no nucleus. So first thing you have to remember that this is without nucleus. So prokaryotes are without nucleus. and eukaryotes have a nucleus, have a true nucleus. So this is the first difference. And next, there are a lot of membrane bounded organelles in eukaryotic cell like Golgi apparatus, like endoplasmic reticulum, chloroplast, and you can see here mitochondria, here, endoplasmic reticulum. So these are membrane bounded organelles. So there is no membrane bounded organelle in prokaryotic cell. In prokaryotic cell, you can see here there are no membrane bounded organelle. So this is also the difference. And you have to remember this thing that only bacteria are prokaryotes. Other than bacteria, all organisms are eukaryotes. So bacteria are unicellular, made up of only one cell, and they are prokaryotes. Now we will learn some of the difference. Only bacteria have prokaryotic cells, so bacteria are prokaryotes and they are unicellular. So now we'll discuss the differences between prokaryotes and eukaryotes, some of the differences. So prokaryotic cells have no nucleus and DNA is found in region called the nuclide, while eukaryotic cells have a true nucleus and no membrane bounded organelle here in prokaryotic cell like mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum. These are not present in prokaryotic cell. While in eukaryotic cell there is mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, chloroplast in case of plant cells, and they prokaryotic cell are simple cell than eukaryotic cell, and most have a cell wall. Prokaryotic cell have a cell wall, while eukaryotic cell, in case of animal cell there is no cell wall, but in case of plant cell there is a cell wall, and this cell wall is different. Like the cell wall of prokaryotic cell is made up of peptidoglycan. This is a chemical made up of peptide mean protein, glycan mean carbohydrates, sugar. So we can say that this chemical is made up of protein and carbohydrates. While the cell wall of plant cells also have a cell wall, and their cell wall is made up of cellulose. Cellulose is only a carbohydrate. So this is just a carbohydrate. So we can say that the cell wall of bacterial cell or prokaryotic cell is made up of peptidoglycan, protein and carbohydrates, while the cell wall of plant cell is made up of cellulose, which is just a carbohydrate. So plant cell is different from animal cell. This is another thing that we are going to discuss. Plant cell is different from animal cell in a way, like in plant cell you can see here the nucleus is in the center. In plant cell you can see here the nucleus is at one side. Is at one side just because of large vacuole present in plant cell. But in case of animal cell there is no large vacuole. So nucleus is in the center in animal cell. This is the first difference. And the second one is in plant cell. You can see here in plant cell there is a cell wall. Let me explain you. This is cell wall. This is cell wall in plant cell, but in case of animal cell there is no cell wall. And the third difference is plant cell have a chloroplast. That's why plant can make their own food, while animal cell do not have a chloroplast, so animals cannot make their own food. And the color of plants is green just because they have chloroplast in their cell. So these are the three differences between plant cell and animal cell. So we will discuss more about living organisms in our next class. For today, this is all for the day. If you have any kind of question, you can comment here. So see you in the next class. Take care. Allah Hafiz.